Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you both for being here. Last year, when you came in to testify, I had questions about our withdrawal from Afghanistan. Specifically, when you came and testified before this committee after the withdrawal from Afghanistan, you made it clear that we would continue to have significant over-the-horizon ISR assets to continue to monitor Afghanistan. That was my line of questioning, and I actually felt a little bit relieved after that. In fact, General Milley, you stated in July 21st at a press conference, and I quote, "We maintain an agile, over-the-horizon counterterrorism capability that is set up and effective now to detect and address any terrorism threat to the United States." However, last week, General Kurilla of CENTCOM testified he has suffered an 80% reduction in ISR assets to monitor and counter ISIS-K. And ISIS-K is still in existence, and it's still going strong, unfortunately. I mean, even CNN reported in August last year that the ISR task force established by the department failed to produce a single target for the Pentagon to act on because we lacked boots on the ground. So in layman's terms, simply put, I'm curious as to what happened. How did we go from unwavering confidence to CENTCOM ringing the alarm bells?
Well, I'll circle back with General Kurilla on the alarm bells part of this. A couple of things. First of all, there's human intelligence. That's people on the ground. That has been degraded significantly. And, no surprise, right? When you pull folks out, you no longer have troops on the ground. And the networks, it's not to say it's zero, but the networks that we had, the human intelligence networks, those are much, much reduced. So that's really significant, especially in this type of, in a counterterrorism fight, to find, fix, and fit. The second piece is airborne ISR. This, I don't know if he was referring to that, but it's not an 80% reduction in airborne ISR. We are no longer collecting on the Taliban. Most of the ISR assets that were being used were against the Taliban. Some were against ISIS-K and Al-Qaeda, and I grouped those two together. There has been a degradation in airborne ISR against Al-Qaeda and ISIS-K. It's certainly not 80%, though. We have, and I'm here to tell you, and I'll talk to General Kurilla, we have the ability to see, we have the ability to find, and where we find, we can fix and we can finish.
But don't you think it's interesting we couldn't provide one target?
I don't understand what you mean. We have provided a target, and that target's dead.
CNN reported last August that the ISR task force established by the department failed to produce a single target for the Pentagon to act upon. Is that incorrect as well?
We killed Zawahiri.
I'm sorry?
We killed Zawahiri. He's dead. That didn't happen by magic.
So the report was incorrect by CNN?
I don't know what report you're referring to. All I know is that we targeted the emir of Al-Qaeda, Zawahiri, in Kabul, and he's dead. That didn't happen by accident. That happened through exquisite intelligence and action, direct action, in combination with the intelligence community.
So
we have the ability to track ISIS-K. We know they're growing, and if necessary, if we determine that there's going to be what we call an XOP, an external operation, if we detect that, we will strike it. I'm assuming with the presidential approval, we'll develop a contingency operation to do that. So we can't see. I don't want you to walk out of here to think that we can't see into ISIS-K. We can.
It's just confusing for me. I
understand.
And I want to know which one is right. And what I'm hearing is from you today, you still have the utmost confidence in our over-the-horizon capabilities.
It is. I don't want to fool you here. It's not what it was. Nothing's going to replace having troops and Afghan security forces and the amount of infrastructure that we had. That's not going to get replaced. We do have the capability to see into Afghanistan with a variety of ISR assets and to determine any threats to our homeland. If we pick those up, we have the ability to strike at great distance. I'm very confident.
Is your confidence level, in my limited time, and I appreciate it, is your confidence level at the same when it was last year when you testified before, or is it reduced?
No, I think it's about the same. Look, we can see. We know ISIS. We know where ISIS-K is. We know what they're doing, and we know that they're a growing threat. There's no question about that. The issue is, are they preparing an operation to strike the United States or our interests? If yes, then we'll do whatever is appropriate.
Generally's time's expired. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from
I'll get back.
Mexico, Mr. Vasquez, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Austin, General Milley.